Hey everybody, welcome to the Video Game Show's Video Game of the Week. This week's Video Game of the Week is Far Cry 4. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. This year, for some reason, it's been taking me a little longer with every game. I've been really trying to go through all these games, especially these Ubisoft ones, where they have all the items laid out for you on the map, and you just kind of try to go get them. So this one took a little bit longer than I expected, but not as long as Watch Dogs. I want to say this right out front, I really loved Far Cry 3, and I did a Video Game of the Week, probably one of my first videos back over a year ago. And I gotta say, my feelings of this franchise just carried over into this one. I had a lot of fun with this game. There are issues with this franchise, and they are typically the same issues that Ubisoft has with this type of game. For me, I like the open world. I like how they put things out there for you to do, but I also don't like the clutter of the maps sometimes. And in this one, it got so much more cluttered than Far Cry 3. This one was cluttered with everything, and I wish that could have been, knocked down a little bit. I wish that there was some happy medium where they could not have to just push all the collectibles in your face, and there was some happy medium, kind of like what Sunset Overdrive did, where you buy maps to kind of figure out where things are if you do want to actually do that. I felt that the controls continued to be awesome game controls, how you control your player, how you fire your weapons, the feeling of these weapons, and just how the physics worked. I loved it. I remember speaking about the Far Cry 3 in that Video Game of the Week, about how the physics felt when I was sliding down a mountain, how I've never felt anything like that. And when I got back in this one, and it brought me right into the game, just like with the previous incarnation in Far Cry 3. Right there, I was back in the game. I felt like I was Ajay Ghali, and I felt like I was just this dude ripping through everybody, killing dudes, busting up some tigers and bears, oh my. And it empowered me, it really did. This game also had quite a bit of comedic points in it, and it wasn't over the top comedy where they're trying to be funny. It was just natural progression of conversation from certain characters. The main plot of the storyline, it does kind of hang on a thread, because when you're playing this game, you're going through it and you're forced to do some things where you're kind of like, well, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I don't want to go with either of these people. And you have this antagonist, Pagan Min, who's actually a very charismatic character. And this is where I was getting at with the comedy that just happens in natural conversations. He's actually pretty funny in this game. And you have this antagonist in Pagan Min, and you kind of are killing or going after him just for the sake of the game, because that's how the storyline in normal games go. But in my mind, I was like, man, maybe I don't want to kill this dude. Maybe I want to kill these dudes. They do have kind of an answer for that. There's a second way to finish the game, and that is just to not do anything when he tells you to wait here. If you wait for, I think it's 13 to 15 minutes, he'll say, all right, let's go spread your mother's ashes, and you do that and the game's over. And you kind of go in and out like a normal person would in real life. In the game, you're kind of trained in this video game world. As we play video games, we are trained to just go out there guns blazing and do what we think is going to happen, what we think we're supposed to do, which is follow this dude getting taken away because we're supposed to feel sympathy for his character, even though Pagan's calling him a terrorist. There's things that we just automatically do, and I'm so happy that they put this little twist in there, because it's more realistic in this sense, I think. If you go the route where we're traditionally trained to just follow that guy and try to quote-unquote save the terrorist, who we're actually sympathizing with and we don't think is a terrorist, if you go that traditional route, for me, I like the story better in Far Cry 3 and how they progressed you, how they had you progress, your character progressed, comparative to how in this one, when you start doing that traditional way of playing the game, you kind of just go in straight up just killing people right off the bat. And I'm like, dude's from America, he has no military background, he's straight up, he's not going through any emotional crisis, he's just straight up killing dudes. And so for me, it was like, well, is he really this good of a person? In the game, in the story, they talk about him, how he's so good and so, benevolent and things of that nature. I'm like, really? Is he really? He just started killing dudes. My character just started killing dudes. Just just out of the blue and had no remorse for it. So at least in Far Cry 3, Brody, whatever his name was, had remorse for some of the things until he learned how to harness that emotion. In this one, straight up no emotion. Let me just kill dudes, stab him in the neck, you know, kill a Bengal tiger or whatever. Yeah, the story hung on a thread. But like I said, you have those great character moments where your conversation makes you just smile. It makes you interested with Pagan Men. There's one that I told my Xbox to record it because the dude was talking about underwear, and he was actually touching on a point that was kind of almost breaking the fourth wall in the fact that you've been playing the game for 40 hours. How come you haven't changed clothes? Your underwear, is it changed? You know, it was a really funny perspective on the main character. And so overall, the story, it's not what you go to this game for. Hangs by a thread. But the gameplay, the world of Karat, Shangri-La, the Himalayas, you go to this game because of that. And I gotta say, it is one of my favorite games of the year. I had a great time with it. I have not made my decision yet on what's game of the year. I am playing through Dragon Age Inquisition right now, and a lot of people are choosing that one. So this one's up there though, with the best of them from this year. And I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely think that you guys should go out there and at least rent this one. It has a good little RPG type of element to it, as well as a really, really good first-person shooter element to it. I think you guys are going to enjoy this one, and my opinion, again, like I said, on this one, go play this game. This game is worth playing, you guys. Alright guys, so that's it for this week's episode of the Video Game Show, Video Game of the Week. Remember to click the like, share, subscribe buttons down below. Leave your comments, questions, suggestions for future video games of the week. Let's have a great conversation this week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.